Unreal has a key value data structure called a TMap, and it lets you specify a key as the first template argument and then a value as the second template argument. In this case, I'm going to map a name to a different name. So we'll say code name map. And you can expose this to the editor by making it a UProperty. And we can edit it in the details panel or on instances by adding edit anywhere. We can access it in the blueprint graphs by adding blueprint read write. And the map is in the header containers/map. There's a few ways we can add key value pairs to our map. First is just with the add method. The first argument is the key. The second argument is the value. We can add also with a find or add method. And that returns a reference to the value. We can then assign to the value. It's important to note that tmaps can actually be a major source of bugs in code. And notice that if you change the map, the references that are returned become invalidated. So these functions like add or find or add, they all return this value type reference, which lets you modify the contents of the memory behind the map. But if you add a value or remove a value, you are changing the map and therefore potentially changing the memory behind the reference. And since a reference is just a pointer behind the scenes, that pointer may be dangling. And so that's what this note is about. The reference is only valid until the next change to any key in the map. So be careful if you add something to a map and you're using this reference and then add another thing, you need to get a new reference because that memory may have changed. And doing that will protect you from a lot of bugs with tmaps. The add method actually returns a reference also that you can mutate. In this syntax, we specify the key and the value, but then we can still mutate it. And then you can also just specify the key. You can check the size of a map using the num keyword. You can query if a map has a value using the find function. The find function returns a pointer to the value, which will be null pointer if it is not in the map. Let's add something to remove. When removing values from a map, you can invalidate pointers. So I'm going to just wrap this in a scope so that variables go out of scope once we're done with the removal. Just to show you what I mean, before we remove, let's find the value. Now let's remove the value using the remove method. We'll get the count to see that it changed. Let's query again to see if it is in the map, but put it in a new variable. And then we can log the variables so that you can see that we have a dangling pointer. You can iterate over a map using a foreach, where the iterator value is a pair of the key and value. You can also convert a map into an array of key value pairs using the array method. Let's compile this and test it with a breakpoint. So we'll fix our compile error, which was a missing So let's run that. So now we are debugging. Our map is empty. We can find or add a key value. If we mouse over that, we can now see our key value has been added to the map. We can add another value using the find or add, which will find a current value, or if it's not there, add it. And so it found nothing, and so it set it to the default, which is none. And now we will write a new value to it. And we can inspect our map and see that the value was correctly assigned to 1 per first. We can also get a reference that can be mutated via just calling the add method instead of find or add, and we'll provide a key and a value that is the default. And we will immediately overwrite our default value, which was set to 2 with 22. And we can see that is reflected in our map, 22. Or we can just call add with a key, and it will give us a mutable reference, which is defaulted to none. So we can set that to 3, and we will see that is reflected in our map. So third has 3. We can call the num method to see the count in the map, which currently is 4. So if we look at our map, there are 4 entries. We can try to find an entry in a map using the find method. So find the key first, and it returns us a pointer, which looks to be a valid pointer. So it should pass our not null pointer check. And we dereference that pointer and call the toString method to log it. And so if we step over that and check the log, we can see that we found the first entry of the map with the value of 1. So now we can test removal. So we can do find or add on remove me, and we'll set the value to value. So if we inspect the map, we can see that the remove me key has the value, which is what we expected. So we've entered a new scope block for safety, because when we remove this, it should invalidate our pointer, but that won't be reflected in the local variable. So let's first try to find that key, remove me, and we can see that the pointer is valid to the word value. And so let's remove me. And so if we inspect the map before we do that, we see that it's in entry 4. We call remove, inspect the map, and it is gone. So we now ask the map, does it have the key remove me? And we step over, that pointer is null. But here's the easy mistake. The original local variable still has a valid address, and so we don't want to use that anymore, as we might stomp memory. And so we log the old pointer and new pointer to just show that in the log. So you can see the old pointer is still valid, but the new pointer did correctly return null pointer. And now we can iterate over our map, where we have a t-pair representing the key and the value. And if I run to here, I can see that they are logged. First has a value of 1, second has a value of 22, and third has a value of 3. And then we can convert our map into an array using the array method. And we can see that our array contains the same values and keys as our map did. We can get to our code map by clicking the class defaults and going to code name map. And we can add values to it in the editor because we had specified edit anywhere in the UProperty for our map. And so if I add a value, now if I try to add another value, it will not do it because we already have the key none. So I'll name that editor1, and then I can add another one. The values don't matter because they don't have to be unique, just the keys have to be unique. Try to add another, same failure, so I can name that editor2, and then I can add another one, editor3. And so the values can all be the same. It doesn't matter, just we need unique keys, but I'll go ahead and set these 2 values. And that is how we can set values in the editor details panel. Now if we compile that and run it, these values will be already in the map because we set them at the editor time. And so this is in begin play. And if we inspect our map, we can see indeed that editor 1 has 1, editor 2 has 2, and editor 3 has 3. And we are executing this in begin play. And so that's how you can specify some default values in your map. In Blueprint, you can create a map by adding a variable and then going up and compiling and changing the type down to map. We can get our code map by typing get code name map. And the reason we can do that is because we have specified Blueprint read write on the UProperty of our map. And so we can add to our map by calling add, and we will say BP key, and I'll just promote this to a variable, BP map key, and we can add a value, and I'll promote that to a variable. In Blueprint, we can do a contains check to find if the map has a value, and that is a node called contains, and we will pass in our map key variable. And since we just added that, this should return true. Since we did not add the value as a key, we could do a contains check that should return false on the value. And again, that's because value is not a key. We can do find operations on maps, which will return the value if it has a value. And so we'll say find for the key, and the bool here returns if it found a value. So if it found a value, we will print the key. We can remove from a map with the remove method, and we'll remove the key that we added. And now when we attempt to find on that key, it should return false. In Blueprint, we can get an array of keys by calling the keys function. That can be for looped over. And we can also get an array of values with the values node, which can also be for looped over. And let's drop our breakpoint to test the map operations in Blueprint. So let's compile that, save, and run py. And so now our code map contains a few values. It has the values editor already in it, and we're going to add the key, BB key, and the value for that key will be BP map value. If we inspect our map, we can see that the BB key and BP map value have been added. So our contains check should return true, and it did. It took us this way. And now we do not have a value as a key, so this should return false, and I've connected it up to true. So if I go back to this and I fix up the graph to continue when it is on false, then we can continue from here. So now if it's false, which it is false because our map does not contain the value as a key, we go over here, and now we can test our find operation. So we're going to try to find the key, which again is BP key, and it is in the map as this entry here. So this should return true, and we can print on the screen that we found the key with the value. Now we can remove from a map using the remove node, and so the key is, again, BP key. You can see right here. And after we have done the remove, if we inspect our map, the key is gone, and we just have the editor keys. And so now our find should return false, and it does. The key has been successfully removed. And lastly, we can generate an array of keys with the keys node. And after the loop is done, when completed, we can generate an array of values with the values node. We'll continue exploring containers in further detail in further videos.